Good day and welcome to another segment of In the Spotlight. I'm Superintendent Michael Richard, and today I'm very pleased to be joined by someone who's very special to the West Springfield community, head coach Matt Griffin, and IHD supervisor of the same. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Good morning.
So tell the audience at home a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, what you do for work, how you ended up here in Westside.
Matt Griffin, originally from Chicopee, and I am the IHD supervisor here at West Springfield High School. I am also the indoor and outdoor girls track and field coach.
So, Matt, you went to school. You grew up in Chicopee. Did you go through the public schools at Chicopee? Did you go to college? Where'd you go? Tell the audience a little more about that.
I went to Chicopee Comp. Graduated there 1993. I guess I could say that.
Sure.
And afterwards, I went to Bridgewater State University. I studied PE and also speech communications over at Bridgewater State.
And then how'd you end up here in Westside?
Well, right after college, again, studying and being involved in fitness, I actually got involved in athletics here right as I got out of school. And I was an assistant coach on the football team. And then also in the spring that following year, that's how I started off with track and field.
So you're now the head coach. You do girls indoor track. You also do girls outdoor track and field. Tell me a little bit about your function in those positions and what kinds of things you're working on with the girls.
Yes, I started back in 1998 as an assistant, but I took over a head coaching job in 2010. And first year that I was here, we had about 40 on the team, on both indoor and outdoor teams, and now we've risen to about 100 on the team.
It's pretty amazing. And what do you attribute that growth to, Coach?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the love of the sport. A lot of the student athletes here at the school love to get involved in the sport. It also is a good base for their other sports that they do. It helps them get in shape for whether it be soccer or lacrosse or maybe basketball. But again, it's a great confidence booster. They can make friends out there, and again, it's good to see that everybody wants to be involved in interscholastic sports.
So I'm not a track athlete. I mean, I know you couldn't tell by looking at me, but tell me about the sports that are involved in track and field. There's short distance, there's long distance, and then there's some field events. Tell the audience at home a little bit about what they could expect if they ever went to a meet.
So again, we have all our sprints, which are, again, the faster races. If it's indoor, it's 55, outdoor it's the 100. Both seasons there's hurdles, but then there's also mid-distance, which can involve the 400, 600, 800, longer distances, the 1 mile, 2 mile. But then there's also the part that not a lot know about the sport is that there's jumping, there's throwing that are involved. So the high jump, the triple jump, pole vault, shot put, javelin, discus, to name the events.
If a student wanted to get involved in track and field, you alluded to this a little bit, making some friends, staying in shape, conditioning for other sports, but what's the real appeal of joining track and field?
Well, again, it's getting involved in interscholastic sports and being involved in school activities, it's great to see that the number of athletes that are on the team has increased. That just means that there are a lot of individuals here that are in the school that really want to get involved with the sport.
But we've also seen a tremendous amount of success with those teams. Tell me a little bit about some recent successes.
Well, recent successes, we do have a record board that is placed at Clark Field, and I think since that has gone up with great help from our booster club, is that a lot of the athletes, both the boys and the girls, but a lot of them see those records on there and they really want to get their name up on that board. So they work hard each and every day at practice to get better and to, again, put their name right up on that board.
Yeah, a little bit off script here, but are there some recent record setters that are up on that board?
There
let's talk about some of those student athletes.
One in particular, Emily Taylor. She's a junior here, and she has actually broken one of the older records that's up on the board. It was the 55-meter dash. She broke that last season, and that record was actually 18 years old.
Wow.
And that actually went back to the first year we started indoor here at the school.
That's pretty cool. So one of the things that we have been doing here at the high school over the last few years is hosting the Steel Relays. And so Dr. George Steele has a lot of connections back here to West Springfield. But tell me about that event. You've helped to organize that, and you've worked with other individuals in town to make that happen. But tell the folks at home what that event is, what it's all about, and maybe if you can recall a little bit of the history of that event.
With the assistance of Coach Linda Robotham from Northampton, she reached out and we wanted to bring basically the steel relays back home because this is where it started here at West Springfield High School. Dr. Steele back in the 1950s. Basically, the name of it was the West Side Relays, and it's similar to the Drake Relays or similar to the Penn Relays, where it's a big relays day. There's a variety of relays that go on for the teams, and it originated here, and it was great to see that we could bring it back here to West Springfield High School. We have a great facility with Clark Field, and a lot of support, a lot of assistance from the town has made this event get bigger and bigger each and every year.
So in my role today, I get to play the ignorant observer, if you would, and I get to ask questions that I might already know the answers to, but people at home may not. When you talk about relays, when you use steel relays, Drake relays, Penn relays, what does that mean? What does that insinuate?
All of the relay teams and some of the events would be 4x1, 4x400, 4x200. There's distant medleys, there's sprint medleys where there's a variety of distances that the athletes will run. And we do that on the track, but there's also relays that happen with a lot of the field events too, where they will add up distances of what the athletes will do in their particular events.
So these truly become team efforts and more aggregate type of competition.
You know, you could put together some great teams. You could, you know, if you have some all-stars on your teams and that you really want to compete against, you know, it's spread throughout Western Mass, and we've also reached out to a lot of teams in Central Mass to come to the steel relays. And, you know, if you have a lot of kids that you really want to spotlight and you want to showcase, you know, we put together some really good teams and they get out there and get competitive with each other.
So we've got competitive teams, Coach, but who are some of the other competitive teams locally that we really, when we get up for a competition, we say that's who we're going after?
Definitely Northampton High School, Amherst High School, our neighbors right across the way, Agawam, have always put together some great teams, and that's what the event is really about. Is you can see on one day, you can really see what a lot of the schools in the area and again Central Mass, what they have.
Right. So you're an active Twitter user. We see you quite a bit, and you'll be able to tell the folks at home what your Twitter handle is. But how'd you get involved in social media? Who are you following? What kinds of things do you like to promote when you're on social media?
I actually used to be one that did not want to get involved in social media, but just as time has gone on and you could see the positive parts of being involved with social media and being on Twitter, you can connect with a lot of schools, you can connect with a lot of teams, or maybe just even just genres that are out there. Like, I'm very good and I like to deal with sports and fitness a lot, and just to see what a lot of teams are doing, what works for them, what may not work, but they like to connect with others that are in the area. And it's so fast and easy to do things now that it's a great tool. If used the right way, it's a great tool.
For sure. So how would someone follow you on Twitter?
Well, my handle is it's Primetime, PRYMTYM32.
All right, Primetime 32. We're going to make sure you get quite the following, Coach. You know, you talk about connections that you make and digital connections through Twitter, coaching connections through track and field, but you also make a tremendous number of connections in your other day job, if you would, here as the IHD supervisor at the high school. Tell me a little bit about the work that you do, how you're connecting with those students who are in there for disciplinary reasons, and what kind of relationships you're building with them, and the difference that you've seen that make.
Well, again, they are there for a disciplinary reason. But again, spending time with them a little bit more than just the 45 or to an hour of minutes in a class period, spending, you know, hours throughout the day with them, you can kind of connect a little differently and kind of talk to them on a different level. You know, why are you here? How can we fix this? We all know discipline is key in all learning, and it's you know, that's where it all starts. But just to kind of know, why are you here? But also, let's fix this and make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Right. And I know that my experience with talking to students who have been in IHD and spent 1 day, 5 days, however many days of their high school career have talked about the relationship that you build with them, and knowing that they feel like they've got someone that they can talk to, that they can trust, they can open up to, and help them to rehabilitate themselves so that they don't end up in there, again. And we appreciate the work that you're doing there. So, Coach, we keep this show alive by asking people to recommend someone else to join us, each week. So, is there somebody that you'd like to see, a community member, a teacher, a faculty member, maybe someone who has inspired you along the way? Who would you like to see featured in this spotlight?
Definitely somebody that I have a great relationship with, and again, with the athletes that are on the track and field team. One other coach in the building in particular would be Brenda Marty. I think we work great hand in hand. A lot of the track and field girls are on the soccer team, so I think we've worked well throughout the years to, again, she has her, soccer team on the off season do track. Track gets them better for soccer.
Sure. When they're fighting for that ball at the end of the game,
exactly.
they still got legs underneath them, and,
Yes.
and we can thank you for that, as well as on the softball field when
Yes.
she's coaching softball. So, all right, Brenda Marty, you are on notice that you should expect an invite to join me in the spotlight sometime. It's been a real pleasure to be joined by Coach Matt Griffin. Matt's not just working with our girls indoor track team, but also our girls outdoor track and field team, and he's also an outstanding in-house detention supervisor here at the high school. It's been a pleasure to be joined by him. I look forward to seeing you in another segment of In the Spotlight. Have a great day.